उत्साहं साहसं धैर्यं बुद्धिशक्तिपराक्रमं षड्यते यत्र तिष्ठन्ते तत्र दैव उपहृतम्. These six qualities, wherever they are found, you find divinity there. Utsaham, enthusiasm. Sahasam, courage or valor. Dhairyam, much needed forbearance, patience. Buddhi, intelligence. Shakti, energy or effort. Parakrama, a sense of adventure, challenge. Wherever these qualities exist, you verily find divinity over there. We are discussing spirituality and service as the two wings of our youth mission. Youth is all about enthusiasm. Youth is all about courage. Youth is all about valor, adventure, energy, effort, intelligence. When all this is there on one side, these are the basic things needed to do any activity, for not just service. To undertake any action in the world, we need these qualities. And wherever these qualities are there, and when they are directed towards a selfless goal, it multiplies several folds. And then divinity verily manifests at such a place. This morning we had the guest coming from Tirupati. He's a member of the Legislative Assembly there, and then he is very active servant of the society. I have visited him and I have seen his work. So I was telling him that generally it is said that Narayana, Lord Narayana, told Narada that I don't reside in Vaikuntha. Nameva Sami Vaikunte. Yoginam Hrudayanacha. I don't even reside in the hearts of the yogis who sit and meditate. Mad bhakta yatra gayante tatra tishtami Narada. Wherever my devotees sing my glory, I installed myself there. But I modified it a little bit and said, Mad bhakta yatra sevante. Where they do service to others, tatra tishtami shashvataha. I completely forever install myself wherever good is being done to the society. So when we do good with all these qualities with us, and that best time to do is when we are in our youth. This is the spring of our life. Energy is tremendous. It has to be channelized correctly, else it will lead to wrong things. So the youth's energy must be directed in this right direction. And that is the idea of World Youth Meet. It is the idea of directing our energies correctly. So service is natural to youth. They want to do something. They want to be seen and known as good people. But with what intention they do, it's not for an exhibitionism, it's not for their sake, but for the sake of the society. When the youth undertake the work, it is definitely going to lead to good results. And more importantly, divinity will manifest at every step. Divinity is not high up above in the heaven or living in Vaikuntha, Kailasa or somewhere. Divinity is that consciousness which makes us understand or experience anything in life. Prajnanam Brahma, that consciousness is divinity. When a person is suffering with hunger, the knowledge that such a person is hungry is because of the consciousness in that person. When food is given and the person is satisfied, the satisfaction is experienced also because of that consciousness. When we see somebody in pain, in suffering, and our hearts melt with compassion and love, that experience of compassion, love is also because of consciousness. And when this compassion extends as service to somebody else on the other side, and they are satisfied, they are touched, they are overwhelmed, that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of being overwhelmed is also experienced due to consciousness. Therefore, in every experience of our life, there is only God, there is only divinity, there is only consciousness. Kenopanishad said, Pratibodha viditam matam amrutatvam hi vindate. In every act of your life, if you see divinity, the hand of divine, you will attain immortality, it is said. In every action, what you do, what you say, what you think, everything is powered by that consciousness which pervades everything and everyone. And so, for that simple reason, we are all divine because everybody is conscious. An ant that avoids being stepped upon is consciousness. The elephant that is so powerful and mighty in the forest is also powered by the same consciousness. The Brahmin, the Vidwan, is powered by the consciousness. So also a dull-headed or dull-witted person, a woman or a man, bird or beast, everything, everyone is experienced life because of this one thing called consciousness. And this consciousness is divinity, is what our Upanishads say, Prajnanam Brahma. So this is beyond all gunas, beyond all names, forms. This very power, Chaitanya Shakti, which keeps us all going, that is divinity. So that divinity is what we must see in one and all. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kshudarupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. The other day, Tanushree Shankar's group was dancing on this beautiful Devi Stuti, and they said that Devi which resides in all has hunger. It is not the hunger which is Devi, it is the experience of hunger which is the consciousness, which is the Devi's or the divine aspect in all of us. We feel hungry because there is divinity which is making us experience hunger. And so also when we eat food and we are satisfied, our hunger is satiated. Again, it is divinity alone which is enjoying. Ananda Rupena Samstitaha. So that is how both way it is consciousness. Youth are generally very energetic, they want to do a lot. Shakti is there. But along with that, Yukti also has to be there. Yukti means that intelligence, that acumen. How to do seva. Simple example I'll give you of this Saishwar because just now Anand spoke about it. In the beginning, they started with serving cooked breakfast by engaging some local vendors who would provide the ingredients and some local cooks who will cook and serve the breakfast at the school. But this model was working for a few people in few places. Then they innovated, they thought let us give dry ration to the schools and the existing midday meal scheme which is functioning in those schools. The cooks which are already there, those cooks will help us even prepare the breakfast and we will pay them some additional remuneration. It worked out fine. They made a centralized store, they distributed dry ration, and that started working. But again, it had limitations. Then they came up with this idea of Saishwar nutrition mix. This idea mainly got generated for the pregnant women because the statistics were so sad that many of these pregnant women were underweight, 38 kgs, 40 kgs. How will they deliver a healthy baby? And imagine if they don't deliver a healthy baby, then the series of misfortunes that will befall that family is unthinkable. The husband has to be busy taking the baby to the hospital. The wife has to be busy looking after the baby, leaving all other works, their productivity, their earning capacity, their quality of life, everything suffers. And the mental stress that they go through when the baby is not well. I have seen it in our hospitals, heart hospitals. The amount of stress, people are out of job for 40 days, 50 days, they have sold their auto rickshaw or little land, and literally on the road, they have borrowed from the local money lenders at very high interest just to get the baby cured. What is more important for a mother and father than a child? So they'll do anything for it, the child's sake, and they suffer a lot. So if the mother is healthy, naturally the child who is born is also healthy. And half of their problems, 90% of their problems are solved. And what it needs a really little solution, an intelligent solution. Put nutrition in place. Now, also in the intelligent solution, the further detailing of micronutrients is very, very noteworthy and important. The micronutrients help the baby develop all the organs as it grows. So the micronutrition sometimes goes missing. You may eat a lot of rice, but that's all starch and carbs. It is not having any vitamins or minerals, which are very crucial for the baby's growth. And so whether these village women can afford vegetables and all other kinds of things, we don't know. So in fact, at some point in time, the idea was, why don't we give them whole month's ration, for the 8 or 9 months of pregnancy? But the problem is that these women will take all this and they'll cook and feed their husband, in-laws, other children, and they will still starve. So simply Shakti is not going to be of any use. Yukti is required. What is the Yukti? Turn that into a protein powder, a nutrition mix, and label it. This is only for pregnant women. If anybody else drinks it, then consequences. No, there is no such warnings. But the very fact that it's meant for pregnant women will at least dissuade the men from drinking it. So Yukti is important. And now this is working quite fine. And we have seen their weight has gone up. And see, Yukti, Shakti, Bhakti in that. When we are giving, whom are we giving? Mother is the most important contributor to the society because she contributes a citizen to the society, a human being to the society. So the mother's seva is the highest seva, I would say. And therefore, when these mothers were coming to Sarla Memorial Hospital here and getting checked up for their pregnancy and other tests, many of them we found that they were not even having money or the wherewithals to do Simantam for them. Simantam is what you call baby shower in the West. It's a function. It's a function where other women come and bless the mother to be, that she should have a happy and smooth and healthy delivery, child should be good. And it's a cultural thing in India. It's very important for those who are going to be mothers. But they didn't even have the means to do it. And our hospital staff, with some devotees, they performed the Srimantam for all those women from Chikbalapur area who were being under our care. See, there is bhakti in it. There is culture. Not just Shakti, not just Yukti, there is bhakti in it. We do it with devotion because that has to be done for a mother. And when mother is carrying a baby, she is Sakshat goddess herself who has created this whole creation. She is Shakti at that moment. And we worship that. Yatta naryastu pujyate ramante tatra devata. Wherever women are worshipped, gods reside there, they say. Tastu na pujyante, and where they are not looked after well, they are not cared for, tatra sarva aphalaha kriya, they say. All actions meet with failure there. Naturally, if the child is born unhealthy because mother has not been cared for, how can family have any success in their lives? So this is the idea. And you have no idea of how much impact this Saishwar is having because we only are seeing, a good baby has been delivered, mother has been healthy. No. The psychological benefits that come, the larger, greater social benefits that come. Our Tirupati MLA is a quite enthusiastic person. He was telling, I want to conduct health checkups in all villages so that we diagnose people early, detect the problems, and then send them to the right kind of hospital or care. Otherwise, in village, most people don't even know they have blood pressure or sugar or some kidney or heart disease. They keep on going as much as possible. So then he was telling, I told him it's a very good idea to diagnose people and detect their problems early. But more importantly, they also should be concluded rightly. They should be taken to the hospital, those who really suffer. And he said, yes, we will bridge that. We will connect the two. Detection and then not only the detecting and telling them, but actually taking them to the hospital and getting them treated until they're fully healthy. The process does not stop. So our people have come with a wonderful program for mother and child, which is 1,000-day program. From the time the baby is conceived in the womb, almost you can say 9 months or so, 300 days. And then from that, another 600 days, we are going to look after the baby and the mother till the baby grows and crosses that very crucial age. At least beyond 1.5, 18 months after its birth, the baby has more or less crossed all the major hurdles of sickness, diseases, deficiencies. Till then, we'll very carefully look after the mother and child. And this 1,000-day program has started in Chikbalapur. Mudanelli is the pilot for that. And they're doing well. It's a very simple solution, see. It doesn't need that kind of a huge infrastructure or investment or expertise. It is a very simple thing. But then if you've done it right, with limited resources also you can achieve great results. That's why for youth I always say, many youth come and say, Swami, we want to do this big project and we want to collect this much money. I tell them, you first get out of this money business. Stop thinking that money alone can help people. No, it's not true. I do it at my level, that is a different story. I have that kind of support from devotees. As you don't burden yourself with financial calculations. You rather do what is in your limits. Ceiling on desires is good. Cut down your unnecessary expenses. Don't waste money on things which are not necessary. That can be, of course, directed towards something good. But more importantly, think innovative solutions to the problems in the society. Find partnerships, good-hearted organizations which are around. They may need volunteers like you. They may need the ideas that you have, the energy and enthusiasm that you carry. There might be some good symbiotic relationship between you and them, like they're doing in UK, Southampton. They are doing with other NGOs which are serving. The thing is that the other NGOs were serving only soup and some sandwiches, and our homeless people were bored. You cannot laugh at them. If I give you soup and sandwich every day, you'll also be bored. So seva has to be done with great shraddha and bhakti. So we're feeding God. I can't just give them 2 dry sandwiches and 1 hot cup of soup and done with it. So our people went and completely brought a very nice, nutritious menu to them. And they make much different items so that just because they're homeless, they are not cursed to eat the same sandwich every single day. It's not right. And we are serving, Taittiriya Upanishad said, Shraddhaya deyam, Ashraddhaya adeyam. Give it Shraddha, give it sincerity. Ashraddhaya, without sincerity, do not do service. Rather not serve than to serve is insincere feelings. When you serve a poor man, give them some whatever torn and used and worn out left in the house, or that food that nobody wants to eat. No, that is not the right way of doing service. Service, when you treat the other person as equal to you. They are not less than you just because they're in unfortunate circumstances. This is spirituality in service. Because in all that same divine resides. The hunger is same, whether for ant, dog, elephant, Brahmin, Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, rich, poor, hunger is same. With that idea we must serve, that we are serving somebody of our own. It does not mean that you start feeding them what you call pizzas and burgers and spoil their remaining health also. No. Give them fresh, nutritious food, but give them some variety too, so that they are happy. So this feedback came to me from many places, including, I think, Europe, UK, Italy, Australia, that they also gave different kinds of food so that every dinner is a little different from the previous night. And that made them all happy, that made them feel at home. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya adeyam. This is spirituality in service. This bhakti part of it. Yukti is required, Shakti is required, but bhakti, that I do with that love, that I am feeding God only. I am feeding divine only in that person. I don't see the body of the person. I don't see the financial or social circumstances. I see the hunger in that person. That hunger is same. The consciousness that makes us experience that hunger is same. And therefore, that has to be fed. Body is not being fed. Hunger is being fed. And hunger is same. You're European or Australian, Fijian, Asian, anybody, Indian, your hunger is same. That hunger has to be fed. And naturally, yukti means what they eat, you have to give them. The kind of food they eat. If you go and give idli, dosa, sambar to Italian, obviously he's not going to be happy with your seva. They need their own things. Similarly, when you come to India, you have to give something else. So this all bhakti, yukti, shakti, all three have to come together. Generally, our youths have too much of shakti. But the yukti part sometimes is not complete. You have to think how to do seva. And bhakti, that we are doing it for God. That our youths are very good at. They are aware that they are doing it for God only and none other than God. And these three things will lead you to mukti. Mukti is this attachment to your own self, I and mine, I and mine. In this only we live and in this only we die. And we never evolve. This I and mine are the two shackles which bind us down, don't allow us to fly. So allow this I and mine to disappear. We and ours, we and ours, we and ours. This is Adhyatma. So Seva will teach you how to grow out of this limited, narrow-mindedness of I and mine and grow into the greater vastness of we and ours till you realize that there is no I, there is no we, there is only one, He, in everything, in everyone. That is the ultimate goal of spirituality. Our youths are really doing a good job, and I'm aware with whatever limited resources and things they have, they are doing their best. Singapore youth are helping the children in Nigeria. Where is Singapore? Where is Nigeria? They're not obligated to Nigerians. But they thought we must help support Father Charles Ashram. So they did some sealing on desires. They'll give up a cup of coffee or something. In India, if you give up a cup of coffee, you may save 10, 15 rupees. In Singapore, if you give up a cup of coffee, you will save 250 rupees. And 250 rupees is a lot for a Nigerian hospital. It can buy the person medicine for maybe 15 days or 20 days. So your cup of coffee here is equivalent to a mother's health or a child's health in Nigeria for 15 days. And that is how it is being helped. So little sacrifices. I'm not saying you should just give up everything. Don't do extremes. You see? I don't want this, I don't want, and then you suffer. No, you have to do your work, you have to eat, you have to wear well, you have to be good. There is no doubt about it. But beyond that, when there are excesses, they have to be avoided. That has to be directed towards the societal good. Find joy in this. Find happiness in this. Move away from the time that you spend on unnecessary entertainment and relaxation. You think watching some kind of things are going to relax you. No, it only burdens you, it confuses you. Whereas a seva done with great love, it will fill you with tremendous energy. And that energy will sustain you for the rest of your week. When you have to go to your offices and do all the hard work, this Sunday or Saturday spent in the service of others will re-energize you. What I call a recharge your batteries, for which will last you another week or so. You must feel that when you do seva. Seva is the best and the easiest path, especially when you are a young person, a woman or a man, who has a lot of energy, intelligence, adventure, enthusiasm, power, strength. You have to use it for service. And that service is going to lead you to the realization of self. So these are not two things, the two sides of the same coin. Spirituality on one side, service on the other. You start from this side, you will reach the other side. You start from that side, you will reach this side. All spiritual masters have necessarily been servants of society. You may think, how are they servants? They didn't open hospitals, schools, or gave Saishore. How are they spiritual masters? No, in their own way. They guided people. They corrected them when they went wrong. They showed them the path. They lent their ears to their problems. They listened to their problems. They gave them strength and courage, confidence by their words, by their blessings. All that is seva. Everything is seva. Whichever is done selflessly is seva. So I'm happy to hear all the updates that are coming. And I'm sure in the next 2 days, all the youths from around the world will get to know how much each of them is doing. And the best part of these youths are they are doing with great understanding. There is no ego, there is no attachment, there are no expectations from it. Doing for the sake of doing. That is important. And I was teaching our children, when you start an activity, during the activity and at the end of the activity, your state of mind should not change. That is the acid test. That is the litmus test that should tell you whether you have done your activity correctly or not. When you begin the activity, lot of anxiety, lot of fear, lot of excitement. During the activity, problems, frustrations, ego clashes, and you see all kinds of negativity. And after the activity, a great relief, done. Till next week, no. Or we have done very well, ego, or we couldn't do well, depression. None, your mind should remain the same, steady. Before you start the activity, during all the activity, and after you finish your seva activity, your state of mind should remain the same. Then you are growing spiritually. Your service is definitely infused with spirituality. But when you start off with one type of mindset, during the activity you become another person. By the time you finish the activity, you are another kind. Then your spirituality is lacking in your service, is what you should know. Spirituality will give equanimity in whatever we do. So that is the idea. These are simple tips I am giving so that you can do some self-checks, self-audit. Am I getting excited? Am I getting depressed? Am I getting frustrated? Am I getting anxious? Then the spiritual part is lacking in this service. So what should I do? I taught them, take a minute off at that very moment. Don't postpone it. Take a minute off, do 1 minute meditation. Sit down, close your eyes and tell, why am I going through these negative emotions? Why there is so much of disturbance in me? What's the reason for it? Go deep down, keep digging till you find the reason for it. Some expectation of yours would be the cause, some desire, some attachment will be the cause, there is no doubt about it. And therefore you'll be able to learn that at that moment, correct it and come back to perform. Don't continue doing it wrong. When you take a wrong turn on the road and you realize it is a wrong turn, what do? Do you think, oh, who is going to take a U-turn? Let's keep going. Nobody thinks like that. The very next opportunity, you'll take a U-turn and get onto the right road. Similarly, when you're doing service activity, your mind is frustrated, you're getting restless. That very moment, stop. Stop the car and look around. Where am I going? Where am I heading? Do 1 minute meditation. Swami told my mind state should not change. It should always be peaceful, calm, and equanimous. Now it's getting disturbed. It means something is wrong with me. And then take the U-turn and continue after you have calmed yourself down. This is very effective, very, very effective. You try it and you will know it. I have talked about in the Master the Mind series also. Take this 1 minute meditation. Take 1 minute off and you will realize. And one more tip I want to give you, don't ever blame anybody around you for anything that goes wrong. Because, no, I am perfect. Everybody has the Duryodhana syndrome, I call it. I am the only good person. Everybody else is bad here. No. Anything that has gone wrong and that has caused sorrow in you, don't try to blame others and try to pass on the blame to others. Think, how can I help things improve next time? This is a lesson I have learned. How can I improve things next time? Maybe it's not your direct mistake. It's somebody in the team. But don't put that person down. Make that person feel terrible, because intentionally nobody is trying to do harm. All children are good. They want to do good for society and Swami. Some people may not have the right understanding and capacity. So those who have that understanding, it's their responsibility to help others. Don't lose patience on them, with them. Simple things when you do service, but these are all qualities that are natural to a spiritual bent of mind. And when you are not having this experience, just take a minute off. Just tell, excuse me, and go into your bathroom, go to a silent corner somewhere and sit down and think, am I doing it right? If I'm doing it right, why there is so much of disturbance in my mind? And then come back, find the reason and come back. Don't worry, in 1 minute nothing will change, but you will change. That will help. So these are simple things, some yukti, shakti, bhakti, and ultimately mukti from this I-ness, the attachment of doership and enjoyership. It will come by and by. This message is not only for the youths, it's for everyone who is engaged in any kind of activity, especially service activity. I wish all of the youths that they will continue to tread this path, however difficult it is, however you feel it's exhausting. Yet you should not step back. Stop, but don't step back. Continue again. But don't go back. That's all I want to say. If you find it too difficult, just pause for a while. Stop there. Don't take a step back. Don't make it a habit to retrieve. Always take a step forward only. If not, stand there for a while, analyze, understand, put a step forward again. As long as you keep putting the right foot in front of the left and the left in front of the right, one day you are definitely going to reach your true self, as long as you keep walking. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Arise, awake, stop not. That is what Vivekananda said. That is what Kathopanishad said. Stop not. If you can't walk, stand. Don't go back, but continue after that. These are simple things. If you follow, your service will give you a lot of joy to everybody around. And as I said, every week you look forward to, when is the next week coming? When I will go back to serve everyone? It's kind of a spiritual addiction that you'll get into, which is very good. Ramakrishna Paramhansa would say, everybody is mad in this world. Some are mad after God and some are mad after the world. But God madness is the best madness and the least harmful. So better to be mad after God. That also gives you that joy which is passeth all the understanding. I will speak about it more tomorrow. Today we have a musical rendition by our Kunal Ganjawala and Gayatri Ganjawala. I hope his son is not around playing music there. Yesterday he sang here. Okay, very happy.